Hello and welcome back to another Doctor Who record review and unboxing. In today's review I'm taking a look at the latest release as a part of the Demon Music Group Vinyl Who series. It is the second Doctor 1967 four-parter, The Moonbase. I do love a good 60s Cybermen serial, so I was delighted when this one was announced. It is available from your usual retailers, the likes of HMV, Amazon. The recommended retail price is around £30, and if you are interested by it, why not ask your local record shop to stock it? These are limited edition collector's items. Usually once they are out of stock, they are out of stock for good, so if you're a fan, I recommend buying it sooner rather than later to avoid disappointment. You know the drill by now. The record comes wrapped in cellophane. This ensures that the product is nice and safe, the sleeve doesn't get damaged or any marks on it, which, given the retail price, is appreciated. These things are expensive. Often these releases have rather dark base colours, so any scratches will stand out quite a lot. The cellophane doesn't obscure the artwork at all, but we do as always have the Vinyl Who sticker in the bottom corner. Design and colour scheme is consistent with the sleeve itself, so it's a classic 1967 TV adventure on record for the first time. It is one of the many Second Doctor Cyberman stories, and in the bottom corner, in very small writing, it states that this is two 140-gram translucent Blue Moon vinyls. Now, out of all of the Second Doctor Cybermen stories, I do really like the Moonbase. I'm looking forward to cracking this one open. First time that I seen the cover art for the Moonbase, I was incredibly impressed. One of the things I always love with the Who Vinyls series is that they often take a 60s episode of Doctor Who, which more than often are overlooked anyway, and then breathe new life into them with these really exciting grand cinematic artworks. Because it has been made especially for this record release, the cover art fits the square shape of the sleeve so perfectly. This record is probably one of the best examples of it to date, as not only do we have the moon, we have that circular orb shape of the helmet that they wear. This is a 1960s episode of Doctor Who. It's black and white, and I feel like they've not gone too overboard with the colour, so it still looks very 60s. The splash of colour that we have is this rainbow effect coming up from the top of the spacesuit helmet. The way it curves down over the orb. The Cybermen there at the bottom of the rainbow. Probably they've found the pot of gold. Top corners of the record sleeve are considerably dark and mysterious. The night sky there, not too over the top, it looks very space age, and lens flare is gorgeous. That blue beam coming out with the sun behind, and the slight suggestion of the terrain there underneath the lunar landscape. So many circles and lines, it looks really pretty. This becomes even more clear towards the bottom of the piece as well. This side has a little bit less going on, again more stars, that slight purpley hue there. The vast majority of the Cybermen are lurking in the shade in a very mysterious fashion. I also love that slight indication of the breathing apparatus there coming down to Patrick's face. You can barely see it, it's easy to overlook. As an advertising piece, it's a promotional poster, it works really well. It definitely makes me want to revisit this story and, well, listen to it, I suppose, of this format. Top of the cover art is considerably textless, with one exception. We have the diamond formatted Doctor Who logo looking as pretty as ever. BBC logo just above this, such a great logo for Doctor Who merchandise. It fits with everything, be it New Who, Classic Who, Big Finish, action figures, it's just perfect. This release especially, the blues and the yellows of the logo fit in rather consistently with the artwork itself. The text on the bottom of the sleeve is also considerably minimal, with just the title of the story and original BBC TV soundtrack. If you're unaware with what an original BBC TV soundtrack is, it's the audio taken from the TV story. It's not an audiobook, it's the actual audio from the production, with linking narration by an actor from the story to basically explain the visual cues, so you can follow it along like a full cast audio drama. And if your response to that is, well, what's the point, I'll just crack on the DVD, then that's probably a key indicator that this isn't a product for you. It's rather niche, given, yes, but it's a collector's item, and it's for people who want to experience the story in a different way. There's nothing too out of the ordinary going on with the record sleeve spine. We just have the slightly different format of Doctor Who logo, the title of the story, absolutely nothing in the middle, and then down towards the bottom, the Demon Music Group production number. Bottom of the record is really playing to that lunar landscape effect. It's quite hidden and dark, but we have a few rocks here and there. There does appear to be a lot more Cybermen than there ever was on our TV screen, but it certainly adds to the presence. This light blue smoke, it looks like the Cybermen are marching. As for these Cybermen at the opposite side, they're having a good stroll about. I also love that the one that looks like it's dancing, that's seen in a lot of the images from the Moonbase, is their centre stage. Probably one of the coolest Cybermen of all time. Centre stage, we also have the TARDIS. Again, this is really era specific, so the image that they've gone for looks like one of the model shots from 60s Who. Windows glowing away, the pull to open sign, and the lantern towards the top with various scuff marks. Quite a number of the previous Who vinyl releases, they did have a standardised TARDIS for every single record cover. This seemed to be more era specific now, and if you love TARDIS content, then just look at the back. Wow. Especially blown away by the central composition within the cover art, the way the circles build from the orb of the spacesuit. A lot of thought has gone into this design that absolutely pays off. And I know that some don't like lens flares, but I think they really work here. The choice of image for Troughton as well is really inspired. I think it's from the Radio Times Three Doctors photo shoot, but I might be wrong. Certainly giving 12th Doctor furrowed eyebrows there. Look, it's a very different take on 60s Who that is quite rare, it's different, it's refreshing. The artwork on the back of the record is just as nice as the front. It's a lovely continuation in style. All of your company's small print is limited to the bottom of the sleeve. Barcode doesn't take up too much room. The BBC and Demon Music Group logos in the bottom corner, and then in the middle all your lovely small print. The top corner lists the LP's contents. It's your traditional formatting. The four-parter is divided across the two LPs, one part on either side. And at the opposite side we have a little bit of the casting credits. We'll see these in full a little bit later on, but it does say the episode was written by Kit Pedler, with linking narration read by Fraser Hines. And just below this we have a few production credits. Actually, of course, on the back of the record you get your track list if it's a music album, but as always with this series, it really does prioritise the artwork, so the text barely takes up any space. All of the compliments which I had for the front cover art also apply to the back. It's again a continuation of this lovely circular starfield effect. The lens flare and things towards the top and the nice blue light. It's a little bit cleaner than the front, there's less distractions, but in the middle is where everything has changed this time. So the moon is much less obscured this time round, with all of the craters and holes, obviously with what looks like the Earth behind this too. It's really cinematic. Then in the middle you have a much better look at that absolutely gorgeous TARDIS prop there, very battered and very 60s, with the careful use of colour, where only other colour than blue and silver is the orange they're peering out from the inside of the TARDIS. Really lovely design overall. So we have had a few releases like this in the past where yes, it is a double LP, but it doesn't fold outwards. Both of the records are just contained within the sleeve, and one of the only downsides to these cover arts is due to it being mostly black in the background, it does mean that odd smudge and fingerprint here and there will be quite visible. Well, that's just something that you need to put up with, really, isn't it? That's what happens with records. Now, something which I have noticed with this latest record release is the overall paper used for the sleeve itself is slightly glossier than your previous releases. So the main image just copies the moon and the TARDIS from the back of the record outer sleeve. To be honest, I don't blame them for doing this. After all, it has been made exclusively for this record set, so why not show off your exclusive artwork? This time it's also textless, so you can see all of the design in its glory. Have your usual LP details presented. For the most part, this is a black background, but I do love this gradual starfield effect. The design for both LP1 and LP2 is roughly the same. I know I've said it before, but it would be nice to have a few telesnaps from the episode on the back of the sleeve, just to make it a bit more exciting. Even just a big image of Patrick Troughton. They did include a few images with the John Pertwee set, which I reviewed previously, and that really did enhance the product overall. The text on the record sleeve is set out like an old Radio Times listing, which is a really cool touch. LP number clearly stated at the top. Of course, the listing repeats for either side of the record, side A and side B, and then for the second record, side C and side D. The inclusion of the air date is always a nice touch, as well as your main cast just below this. Patrick Troughton as the Doctor, Patrick Barr as well as the companions. We have the title of the story, who it's written by, a brief story synopsis, cast list for that particular episode, as well as the others in the cast as well, which is something that I don't think is usually included. So time for the records themselves now. Of course, the outer label promised moon blue, and that is exactly what we have here. I think on camera it does actually look a lot darker than it is in reality, but it's a really lovely shade. Hold it up to the light, obviously, as always, it does look a little bit lighter. You can clearly see my hand underneath, so it's slightly transparent, which is always good. But if you look closely, you can see all your record grooves, which is somewhat essential, otherwise you can't play the record. No splatters or patterns or anything like that, which is fine. We've seen quite a lot of splatter records in the past. It's nice just to have a standard block colour, as you would expect really for a double LP. Both of the records are the same. Pretty, rather striking, consistent with the cover art, and they will look lovely running around the turntable. If you are someone who collects this series, I would be quite curious to know, are you someone who actually buys these records for the content on the record itself, being able to listen to the story and experience it in a different format, or are you someone who buys it solely to have it in a lovely presentation like this with exclusive artwork? Especially when it comes to 60s Doctor Who, because we have so little merch from this era of the show anyway. Darker black of the inner label stands stands out a lot with the transparent blue record surrounding it. The central label on each record isn't too exciting, but it's a lovely continuation of the cover art of the moon there in the background as well as the LP number clearly stated off to the side for ease of listening. Of course, said label is exactly the same across all 4 sides from A to D. So this is yet another very welcome addition to the Who vinyl series from the Demon Music Group, and it continues to be of an incredibly high quality. The cardboard which is used for the outer and inner sleeve is strong and sturdy. Also the visuals, the artwork is gorgeous, it's cinematic, I love the use of colour, it's very creative and refreshing. I love the representation of the Doctor in the middle and the Cybermen below, and of course the delightful blue records as well. It's consistent with the cover art, and of course the TARDIS on the back is lovely as well. I imagine if you're a fan of this series, then you've probably already purchased this, but if you're a fan of the Second Doctor era or the Cybermen, or want to give an episode a go within the record format, then I imagine the Moonbase will be a really good one to get. I'm looking forward to see what this range does next, but again, another very promising collector's piece. But one that is, as always with this series, niche. Thank you very much for watching this review, I really hope you have enjoyed it. Do of course stay tuned on those productions for regular reviews of the latest Doctor Who merchandise. Have a nice day, and I'll see you all next time.